to basketball again for a moment. You were just talking how you want to win, you want to excel every time. I think of the...
It's very similar, the whole deal, because particularly with a big band like the Grateful Dead, it often has 6 players. And so the basketball team, 5. And so the game starts, the music starts, and everybody has kind of a goal, as to, and a dream and a thought and a hope as to how it's going to play out. But everybody's going in their own direction and thinking about what their own little deal is. And then because of the dynamics of the group, where you have to have sacrifice and discipline and leadership and all the aspects that come into a group dynamic, then it's just able to pull it right back in. And the mind grooves, the mind games, and the mental stimulation, and then the physical aspects. You're being bombarded with all of this energy from the crowd. It's just driving you and pushing you, and you think you're tired, but they never let you stop. And thank goodness they don't.
Let me ask you, 85, 86, with the Celtics, you lost.
Excellent team.
You lost 1 home game.
Right, we lost to the Portland Trailblazers, my old team. Jack Ramsey, Steve Coulter torched us. Sam Bowie had a big game against us.
Clearly, you still remember. So I'm just curious. This year we have 2 teams in the NBA. That
I think they're both going to go undefeated. San Antonio and Golden State. I think they're both going to go undefeated. I love the Spurs, but I really love the Warriors. I'm a California guy, and one of our sons is part of the Golden State Warriors. So I want the Warriors to set every record possible. I want them to win the championship. I want them to just keep going forever, because what they're doing is spectacular. San Antonio has been the thorium standard for all these years. And just absolute excellence, perfection, and just character, and all the things that you hope for in life. But now, the Warriors, they're right there. And what Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, what a team. Steve Kerr, Raymond Ritter in the front office. And it's just spectacular. I'm so happy. And it's in the Bay Area, so let's go. What could be better?
I'm curious, do you have an opinion, or if it matters to you at all, whether or not your son, Luke, gets credit for the wins when Steve Kerr was out? If you've given that any thought, if you think it's irrelevant at the end of the day?
I don't care a hoot about that. I care that the team wins. And I hope Luke feels the same way. It's not about stuff. It's not about material gratification or physical satisfaction. It's just about being part of the team, and the team coming together and winning in who knows what manner. Because you never know how the game of life is going to play out, and what these young guys don't realize, and what the Grateful Dead and what we all didn't realize growing up, is how tenuous and how fragile everything is. I mean, who would have ever thought that 26 years ago, in August of '95, that Jerry would just like go to sleep and not wake up, and how that has changed everything, and then all the different steps along the way, and all the different, wow, what if only, what could we have done? But that's what life is all about. And all those songs that they've written, I mean, they're just timeless anthems that they make you grow, they make you think, they make you laugh, they make you cry, they make you dream. Ultimately, they make you better. Because for me, the Grateful Dead, so many different reasons why I love it so much, but they give me strength, they give me confidence. They give me hope, and they make me believe that tomorrow is like going to be even better. And at the end of the day, when they run off the stage and get out of there, I'm out in that pit just saying, yeah, I'm with those guys.
You mentioned in the book, I believe you've had 37?
37 orthopedic operations. Both my ankles are fused. I ground them into dust from the structural congenital birth defects that I had in my feet. I tore up my knee when I was 14, playing against some thugs. They were really old guys in their 30s. And then they didn't like the fact that that little Billy with his red hair was having a big day at their expense. And then when I was 21, playing for UCLA, I broke my back. And I lived with all this pain, you know, bad foundation. With a bad foundation, you can't succeed. And crooked legs, stumpy feet, no shock absorption, broken spine, and a world built for preschool children. Because here I was, chasing it down, always stuck in cramped cars, airplanes I can't stand up in, hotels I can't fit in. I mean, all the furniture is built for little tiny children.
Would you say? I mean, do you think the music, sort of as you were recovering? I mean, now you certainly are in fine fettle. You've made that clear.
I'm feeling fantastic now.
And your book starts at a really dire moment in your life.
Dark, and opening chapter, one way or another, there's darkness got to give, and I had nothing. I had lost everything. I had lost my health, my home, my job, you name it, insurance. There was nothing going in my life. I couldn't move. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't think, and I couldn't dream. If I had a gun, I would have used it because my life was over. But now I'm all better, and it's just fantastic, and the music helped. One of the biggest problems, one of the biggest mistakes I made, because when you're that sick, when it hurts that much, you can't think, and you can't make the proper decisions and the proper choices. And so I did not remember, I could not think clearly enough. I could not see the light to turn the music on. And so now, on my desk at home, I just have a big sign that I wrote, "Turn the music on." And I just got my remote control right there. And when I first get up in the morning, I just put it on. And when I go to bed at night, I put it on mute. And the rest of the day is just going. And so it's fantastic. And all the great things that Rhino does, all the great things that Sirius XM does, and all the great things that the family, the community, the team keeps generating and keeps growing and coming together. And what you guys do at Relix, keeping the dream alive, keeping the family informed, keep driving that message of we can do this. And we're winning, and it's our world, and let's go, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop us. Let's go. Relix. Oh, my gosh. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Look at this, Terrapin Station. Oh, man, I could just lay down and go to sleep right here. Phil, how you doing over there? That's so cool.
Hey, you know, since you're pointing that way, I'm looking over here.
We got it at the Fare Thee Well.
At the Fare Thee Well. Yeah, can you talk about which you wrote the.
It was the hardest forward I ever wrote, because everybody I know was there. And so they knew all the stories. They had their own stories. And this came about late in the whole process. There was so much hope, so much anticipation, so much excitement about how this was going to play out. And what Jay Blakesberg did in putting this together, but I didn't know he was going to do it. And so all along the way, all the steps along the way, I'm writing this book, Back from the Dead, at the same time, and we're in the editing process and everything. And then Rhino was asking me to write something, Relix is asking me to write something, we're doing all the interviews. And so I'm just laying it all out there, laying it all out. And then it's over. And we moved on. And we were just on to whatever was next. And then Jay called me up and said, "Hey, Bill, would you write a foreword to Fare Thee Well?" And so it took me a while, and I struggled, and I labored, because I had already told so many of the stories that I had lived and experienced and dreamed about. But boy, what a masterpiece. What art. What memories. Perfect. Don't ever let the music stop. Thank you, Jay Blakesberg.
How about that? We'll leave it at this. It seemed like you were ubiquitous that weekend in Chicago. Yeah, you know, you're doing
Santa Clara. It was better than perfect. I named the foreword in there, 9 days that changed the world. The first 2 days in Santa Clara, the 4 days to get to Chicago, and then the 3 days in Chicago. And Jay captured it perfectly in all the different shots. And what Peter did to make this happen, to put it all together, to put it on the stage, to have that rainbow appear at the perfect time, to have the sprinkles from heaven coming down from Jerry's cheeks, and just to have all the stuff going. And then we get to Soldier Field, Chicago, where so much of our lives have played out, and how Obama wrote the forward for the programs that you guys put out, and just absolutely incredible. And then you get there, And on the side of the Field Museum, everything is dead. And it was just awesome, and it was just so fantastic, and everybody was so happy, and there was just the tears of joy and pride and gratitude, and I got to be in the pit, 12 people deep, right in front of Bruce Hornsby with his perfect posture and his perfect form, and up and down and singing, and oh my gosh, I was there, and I will never forget. And I feel terribly sorry for the person behind me.
Last one, I have to ask you that. I mean, you talk about like the first time you went to see the Grateful Dead, how it looked. Their perspective must have been everyone was sitting down.
In 1967, I was only 6'7". You know, I'm 6'11" now. But when I first met the Grateful Dead in 1974, I had had a number of opportunities to meet the band before 74. I was too shy. I couldn't speak. And I just never spoke to anybody because of my speech impediment. I'm a lifelong stutterer. And so people would come up and say, Bill, why don't you come meet the band? Let me introduce you. Here's some back. And I just said, no, I was just too shy. I just lived in a very narrow and tight world. And basketball was my religion, and the gym was my church. And that was the way that I could express myself. But then things started to change. And did it ever change when I met the Grateful Dead? They've never been the same since. Oh my gosh, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. But the poor person behind me, I just feel so bad because I can hear the little angel speaking as I'm walking through the crowd to try to elbow my way up there. Oh, please don't stop here. Please don't stop in front of me. And oh my gosh, I try my best. But I love being in the pit. The pit is so fun. And you meet the most interesting people. You get the most fascinating stories. Stories of life. Stories of dreams. Stories of hope. You know, I get so tired and so beaten down, so worn down of these people who sell fear and death. I believe in life. And that's why I'm a deadhead. And I'm back from the dead. And I'm back to life right now. Here we go, Dean.
That says it all. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.